So I just posted a video, basically, but I think I'm just gonna start with Charles It's Stephen King. Chapter 1, After the Flood. The terror, which would not end for another 28 years if it ever did, and began so far as I now can tell, with a boat made from sheeted newspaper floating down a gutter swollen with rain. The boat listed, righted itself again, divided bravely through teachers' whirlpools and getting its way down Witcham Street toward the traffic light, which marked the intersection of Witcham and Jackson. The two vertical lenses of all sides of the traffic light were dark this afternoon in the fall of 1957, and houses were all dark too. There had been steady rain for a week now, and 2 days ago the winds had come as well, and most sections of Derry had lost their power then, and it was not back on yet. A small boy in yellow slicker and red glasses ran cheerfully along the newspaper boat. The rain had not stopped, but it was finally slinking. It tapped on the yellow hood of the boy's slicker, sounding to its ears like rain on the shed roof. A comfortable, almost cozy sound. The boy in the yellow slicker was George Denbrough. He was 6, his brother William, known to be most of the kids at Derry Elementary School, and even to the teachers who would never have used anything to his face. His stuttering Bill was at home having at the last of nasty case of influenza in the autumn of 1957, 8 months before the real horror begins, and 28 years before the final showdown. Stuttering Bill was 10 years old. Bill had made the boat, besides which George now had made it sitting up in bed. His back popped against a pile of pillows. While their mother played for Lisa on the piano in the parlor, and rain swept restlessly against his bedroom window about 3/4 of the way down the block as one headed toward the intersection of the dead traffic light. Witcham Street was blocked to motor traffic by smudge bots and 4 orange sawhorses. Stretched across each of the horses were Derry Deputy of Public Works. Beyond them, the rain had spilled out of the gutters, clogged with branches and rocks and big sticky piles of autumn leaves. The water had first parade fingerholds in the paving and then snatched whole greedy handfuls. All this by the 3rd day of the rains. By noon of the 4th day, big chunks of the street surface were boating through the intersection of Jackson Witcham like miniature white water rafts. By that time, many people in Derry had begun to make nervous jokes about arcs. The Public Works Department had managed to keep Jackson Street open, but Witcham was impassable from the sawhorses all the way to the center of town. But everyone agreed the worst was over. The Kendrick Stream has creased inches below its banks and the barrens and bare inches below. The concrete sled of the canal would snelled it tightly as it passed through downtown. Right now, as the gang men, Zach Denbrough, George and Bill's father, among them removing the sandbags they had torn up the day before, with a sense of panicky haste and inevitable. God knew what happened. For the flooding in 1931 has been a disaster. It's cost millions of dollars and almost 2 dozen lives. That was a long time ago, but there were still enough people around who remember that it's scared of the rest. One of the flood victims had been found 25 miles east in Bucksport. The fish had eaten its unfortunate gentleman's eyes, 3 of his fingers, his penis, and most of his left foot, clutched in what remained of his hands. It has been a forged steering wheel. Now through the river was receding, the new Bangor Hydro Dam went into upstream. The river would cease to be a threat, or so said Zach Denbrough, who worked for Bangor Hydroelectric. After the rest, well, future floods would take care of themselves. The thing was to get through this one, to get the power back on, and then forget about it. And such a forgotten tragedy and disaster. It was almost an hour as Bill Denbrough would come to discover in the course of time. George passed just beyond the sawhorse at the edge of the deep ravine that had been cut through the tear surface of Whitcomb Street. Traffic ran on almost exact diagonal and ended up on the far side of the street, roughly 40 farther down from the hill where he now stood on the right. He laughed aloud, the sound of solitary childish glee, a bright runner in that gray afternoon, as a variety of the flowing water took his paper boat into the Skelmwallow Rapids, which had been formed by the break in the tar. The urgent water had cut a channel which ran around diagonal, so his boat traveled from one side of the Whitcomb Street to the other. The current carrying was so fast that George had a sprint to keep up with it. I'm gonna end it here because